Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever stopped to think about the invisible brain powering the smartphone you're literally holding right now? Well, odds are it's Qualcomm. Their chips are inside billions of devices all over the globe. They're a massive 40-year-old tech giant, and they're completely foundational to the mobile revolution. But here's the fascinating twist for today's explainer. The very company that powers our smartphones is actively planning for a world where your phone is no longer the center of your digital universe. They're preparing for what comes next, and the roadmap they've laid out is absolutely mind-blowing.
To see how we get there, let's quickly map out our explainer today. We're going to start by looking beyond the smartphone at Qualcomm's corporate strategy. Then we'll dive into the agentic AI revolution, followed by the wearable personal AI devices that will actually house this tech. Next, we'll explore 6G and digital twins, and finally, bring it all together into what's being called the new ecosystem of you.
All right, Section 1, Beyond the Smartphone. It's a highly ambitious pivot for a company so deeply entrenched in mobile technology.
To understand the sheer scale of this pivot, you really have to wrap your head around this number, 75%. Right now, smartphones make up about 75% of Qualcomm's high-margin chip sales. Now, in the business world, abandoning your primary cash cow, that's terrifying. It's the classic innovator's dilemma, right? To actively choose to move away from the exact device we all carry in our pockets, a device generating 3/4 of your premium revenue, well, that requires an immense amount of conviction and vision for the future.
Now, what's really interesting here is CEO Cristiano Amon's incredibly aggressive goal. He is steering the company toward a strict 50-50 revenue split by the year 2029. So he wants half of the revenue to remain in mobile, sure, but the other half needs to shift entirely to automotive and the Internet of Things, or AI sectors. He's targeting an astonishing $22 billion in entirely non-mobile business. It's a massive, foundational shift, proving they believe the post-smartphone era is already kicking off.
So, how exactly are they going to pull that off? Well, they're aggressively expanding their advanced silicon into some really complex new sectors. Take automotive AI, for instance. They just hit a record $1.1 billion in revenue in the first quarter of 2026 alone. They're effectively putting supercomputers into cars. They're also moving heavily into robotics. As Amon points out, robotics is fundamentally an edge AI problem, meaning the AI needs to process data locally and instantly, exactly like a car's local system avoiding a sudden obstacle on the road. It just can't wait for a cloud server to respond. Add in their push into next-generation PCs and data centers, and you see a company building the hardware foundation for a heavily diversified tech future. But, hardware is only half the story. Let's transition to Section 2, the agentic AI revolution. This is the software shift making all that hardware diversification so urgent.
Listen to this bold prediction directly from Cristiano Amon. He said 2026 will be the year of agents. This concept right here is the core of everything we're talking about today. We are moving far past the era of basic chatbots, where you just type a question and get a text response. We're entering the era of proactive digital agents. Simply put, an agent is software that doesn't just answer you, but actually takes action and completes tasks on your behalf.
Think about the old paradigm for a second. For years, the main control point was the operating system and the App Store. You had to manually unlock your phone, find the app, open it, and tap through endless menus just to get something done. But in the new paradigm, the control point shifts entirely to agentic AI systems. Think of AI like OpenClaw or the new smartphone from ByteDance in China that has an agent integrated directly into the core hardware. You just talk to the device, and the agent goes into your apps, opens them, closes them, and completes complex tasks across different platforms completely on its own. All that manual effort, it literally just disappears.
Which brings us to our third section, wearable personal AI devices. Because think about it. If you don't need to look at a screen to tap on apps anymore, the hardware you use is going to change dramatically.
Let's walk through the evolutionary arc of our primary computing devices. Back in the 90s, the center of your digital world was the PC sitting on a clunky desk. Then, in the 2000s, workload shifted, and the smartphone became the new center of gravity. Now, Amon expects that by 2027 or 2028, which, by the way, is right around the corner, this isn't science fiction, we're going to see massive, market-wide scale for wearable personal AI. Workloads will shift once again, moving away from the phone and right onto these wearables.
But here's the catch. Unlike smartphones, which are basically just uniform glass rectangles, wearables represent this fascinating intersection of fashion and technology. Because these devices, smart glasses, pins, pendants, they have to sit right on our bodies, close to our eyes and ears. They They have to be things we're actually comfortable wearing out in public. You aren't going to see one tech company produce a single pair of glasses in 6 colors that everyone suddenly agrees is cool. We all remember how awkward early smart glasses looked, right? Instead, we're going to see diverse, fashion-focused brands becoming technology companies, integrating these AI agents seamlessly into our daily wardrobes.
And this brilliantly illustrates what frictionless tech actually feels like in the real world. Imagine this incredibly low-friction daily scenario. You're at a restaurant, wearing your smart glasses. You simply look at the bill on the table. The camera in your glasses sees the QR code. Your AI agent instantly understands the context of the situation, processes the payment, and just drops a little audio notification in your ear, or maybe a visual cue in your field of vision, letting you know it's done. You never reached into your pocket, you never opened a banking app, the agent handled the entire transaction.
Now, for any of this seamless magic to actually work at scale, we need an entirely new invisible infrastructure. That brings us to Section 4, 6G and digital twins.
I absolutely love this punchy analogy from the source material. Cristiano Amon says, think of 6G as a radar at scale. We usually think of new wireless generations, like going from 4G to 5G, as just giving us faster video streaming or quicker downloads. But 6G goes infinitely further. It actually uses radio frequencies as a form of physical AI, meaning the signals themselves actively map the physical space around them.
This incredible capability enables what's called a digital twin. Let's clearly define this. A digital twin is a real-time, highly precise virtual replica of the entire physical world. As radio signals bounce off objects, from cell towers to your personal devices, AI processes those electric and magnetic wave reflections to literally see the physical world in real time.
So what does this actually look like on the street level? Well, the 6G network will act as a giant radar tracking the movement of every pedestrian, every bicycle, every car, and every bus. It even points up, tracking drones to manage the future aerial economy. It maps all of this movement instantly. And why does that matter? Because to anticipate your needs safely, your AI agent needs to know exactly what's happening in the physical world around you before you even step off the curb. It absolutely needs this vital context to guide you.
All right, let's bring all these incredible concepts together. The bold business strategy, the agentic software, the wearable hardware, and the 6G network. Welcome to Section 5. The new ecosystem of you.
Historically, our digital lives have been entirely phone-centric. Everything you owned, like a smartwatch or a tablet, it basically existed just to extend the functionality of your phone. But in the ecosystem of you, we become agent-centric. The center of your digital life is no longer the physical hardware sitting in your hand. The center is your AI agent, living securely in the cloud, which seamlessly manifests itself across your smart glasses, your phone, your PC, and your car. And here is a pretty striking realization about this shift. Today, AI models are largely trained by scraping static text and images from the internet. But tomorrow? If we're all wearing smart glasses connected to massive 6G uplinks, we essentially become walking cameras. The AI models of the future will be trained on the staggering amount of real-time video, audio, and sensory data that we stream as we simply walk down the street.
Which leaves us with a massive question as we enter this incoming post-smartphone era. If your glasses read what you read, see what you see, and process your entire environment in real time, who will you trust to be the custodian of your reality? Will you hand that data over to Apple, to Meta, maybe to an open source provider? As technology removes the friction from our everyday lives, the choices we make about privacy and custodianship will become the most important decisions of our digital future. It's a fascinating world approaching fast, and I really hope this explainer helped you see exactly how the pieces are falling into place.